Hello, BookTube, and welcome to your Daily Penguin. This is our tour through my Penguin Classic wall, and we're in a vein of Penguin Classic Deluxe editions, usually very beautiful things with tougher paper and original artwork and decal edges and French flaps and the whole 9 yards. Really beautiful paperback classic editions. In my opinion, the most beautiful ones, but of course, as you can tell, I'm a little prejudiced in favor of Penguin. And we've just hit a vein of these things. It won't last forever. We'll be back to bouncing all over their back catalog in no time at all. But today we're doing a very nice Penguin Classic Deluxe edition of Persuasion by Jane Austen. This is for the 200th anniversary of the publication of Persuasion. And it is, let me give you all the details here. The artwork is by Dadu Shin. Here we have a ship at sea and our heroine. There we have another ship at sea. There we go. And then the inside cover is the manor house itself. And then we have, so it's very nicely done because you have the Jane Austen period style silhouettes for the persons. And this has a lot of other stuff as well. I mean, this is a very good edition of Persuasion to have because you have the whole book. But then in the back, this is an annotated edition. So at the back you have a glossary, page by page, for all the different words that are in the text that might be ambiguous or antiquated or whatever. I think this is always a drastic misstep on the part of book publishers when they put these kinds of notes. I mean, these are not here's this literary reference that Jane Austen makes, and here's a description of that literary reference. These are things that are actually in the line, on a sentence level, that a modern reader might not quite catch. They shouldn't be 300 pages away from their mention in the text. That means you have to have 2 bookmarks going, and that's always inconvenient. These things ought to have been bracketed or interpolated at the bottom of every page. But when you're done with the glossary, you get contextual essays. A large number of them, and this edition, if I remember correctly, it ends with maps, but also with illustrations from a number of different artists. Again, these would have been much better if these had been interpolated, if they'd been dispersed throughout the text. But I'll take it, definitely. I'll take it anyway. This is just lovely. It's of course, Jane Austen needs no introduction from me, and if you haven't read all of Jane Austen, you very much should. There's no doubt about it. There's no ambiguity there at all. You very much should. I vary back and forth myself between whether or not, sometimes I want to read one particular novel of Jane Austen as an island unto itself, just separate from everything else. And it's a mark of how much I love this author that she is among the first things I download on any new reading device. I just got a Kindle Paperwhite, for instance. And it doesn't feel like, no reading device feels quite like home until it has Jane Austen's complete novels. And sometimes I feel like doing that. Sometimes I feel like reading just like Persuasion is incredibly touching, and it's incredibly intelligently done and funny. There are lots of very funny parts to it. And sometimes I feel like reading an individual Jane Austen novel in the Jane Austen world. And fortunately, Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition makes that possible too, with a collected Jane Austen, which we will be getting to. At some point or other, we will be getting to that. So I don't think I have every Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition of Jane Austen. In fact, scandalously, I don't think I have a Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition of Pride and Prejudice. But I have a few of them. This won't be the only one that we'll encounter. But for today, of course, your Penguin is a recommend. It's the happy occasion where I can recommend not only the book, but the edition. This is a wonderful edition. So that is your Penguin Classic for today. It doesn't get much easier to talk about than Jane Austen. Persuasion is a great book. If you haven't read it, you should. So I will wrap this up for now. We have plenty else to talk about, and we'll do another Penguin tomorrow. Thank you, BookTube.